government. I mean, it really gets gnarly when you get into the weeds and into the details. And so, as it turns out, with our group of 8 or so, we said, this we get a negative number. Well, it turned out that all the groups got negative numbers. So the outcome of that exercise was, if you're thinking about disclosure, forget it.
Was this during George Herbert Walker Bush's
No, it was during Bush two,
Bush too, George Bush rather,
George Bush. Yeah,
W.
right.
So when this was all going on, you still didn't know what they had.
Didn't know what they had.
This was
That's right.
just
I
they were
this
saying
could be hypothetical, or he could
right.
be trying to tell us something, but he wouldn't say. So
So was that the first time that Hal had conveyed that story?
Yeah, very first time was on that episode. Yeah.
And it seems like it's unclear whether it was a kind of a hypothetical or if the person who solicited him had an actual crash retrieval reality in mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would be interested to know exactly what the parameters that they looked at were, like a full list of that. And
Like a lot of stories with Hal.
yeah, any documentation would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, certainly Hal has been at this for a long time. He was part of, I believe, the Stargate psychic spy program.
Yep. Yep. Viewing.
So he was present for that. Then he was, I think, was he involved with Skinwalker with Bigelow to an extent?
Yes.
In the early
In the
days?
beginning. In the very beginning. Yep. Yep.
And
He actually
incidentally
helped Bigelow acquire the ranch. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, interesting. So in a sense, this is something I read. Actually, no, it was Green Street who had mentioned this outright in his recent video that some of the people involved in Stargate, they essentially continued their research under Bigelow, but under different guise, but they could still continue looking at sort of the consciousness and psychic aspects because that was also taken to be present at Skinwalker and is very much part of Bigelow's interests.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting if that gaming scenario was undertaken. I mean, obviously the government has done a lot of that sort of stuff in the past in terms of gaming different scenarios. Yeah. What could happen if this happens? We need to prepare. Or what if the Russians are ahead of us in this aspect? We have to be prepared.
That's why those game theory guys get the big bucks. Yep.
Yeah. So it's certainly entirely conceivable that this is a real thing that he's talking about. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really can't say that it's fake or not. It seems plausible. Yeah. Why not?
Very interesting. I think that Hal is a very interesting character. I'm still convinced that the owl in The Secret of Nim is Hal Puthoff. You won't convince me otherwise. Prove me wrong. The thing with Hal though is that he's very good at his job, right? So I did hear that. So he tells the story in Rogan about how they found that aircraft with the remote viewing program. I'm sure you've heard the story, right? Because I know you run ufologyiscorrupt.com, and I know you've looked into research a lot of this stuff. So you know the story about how they remote viewed. They found that Russian plane that was in the middle of the forest. Okay. Apparently, we had some really high-tech satellite observation tools that were highly classified. And that's how we found the plane. But instead of letting the world know we have this technology, we remote viewed it. And that's how we found the plane.
So it was a cover for the actual technical means of intelligence that the US government didn't want to disclose.
Yes, which could be happening as we speak. Like
I hadn't thought of that actually. Like I was well aware of the obviously, especially now with the Yankee Blue story, but also, with the Paul Benowitz saga and a couple of other things like that the government and military may use UFOs as a sort of counterintelligence ploy or a cover for actual
Yeah.
programs. But
Right.
yeah, I hadn't thought about the idea of using psychic claims as a cover for,
Yeah.
technological advances.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah.
We can't explain how we found this thing without divulging we have this technology. Old McGonagall found it. Why wouldn't you do that?